Thanks, Chris. For a deeper analysis, we're now joined by our regular finance man, Scott Phillips, Chief Investment Officer at Motley. Good evening to you, Scott.
Good evening, Tracy. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Queensland's border announcement will send waves of confidence across the tourism and travel sector, but we won't see the financial benefit until December.
Yeah, a bit of great news, of course, across the board. The reality is we now have a roadmap for Queensland's reopening. So important for that particular state. Of course, so many tourism dollars go north and east from the other parts of Australia. And of course, we know that it does a great deal for national confidence as well. As you say, under the current roadmap, we're waiting at least until December 17 for full access for fully vaccinated people. Looks like the current date. Of course, Premier Palaszczuk is saying it might be earlier, and we all cross our fingers that's true. But as you say, it's another brick in that wall of confidence for the national economy to figure that we are on the right track and things are going to keep getting better.
Things will ramp up in time for Christmas for sure. As Chris touched on, Scott, it was materials, finance and energy stocks doing the heavy lifting today. But inflation concerns has seen tech stocks like Afterpay and WiseTech and Xero fall backwards.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And that was Chris's point as well. Of course, when inflation concerns raise their head, people kind of go back to the old stalwarts, the old safety stocks. And as you mentioned, those three categories, materials, resources, and of course banks, are the ones that people tend to go to as a bit of a safe haven against risk, against inflation, against potential interest rate rises. I do think, by the way, over the long term, the growth companies have probably got more promise. But at least it's one of those stories where people are worried, they kind of shoot first and ask questions later, and those sectors were the beneficiaries today.
OK. Well, shares in Class, a software group, rising 61% today. What's behind that?
Yeah, big takeover offer from HUB.ax, another of the financial platforms, as they call them these days. Lots of intermediaries getting in between fund managers and the traditional banks and other fund administration platforms. This is an interesting one because it really points to some consolidation in that particular part of the industry. And Class shareholders liking it, of course, because when you get offered 60% more than the previous price, you're going to take it.
Indeed, you will. Quickly, what are the US futures pointing to?
Yeah, good news at least at the moment, Tracy. Early futures indicate the US market will probably rise by about 0.4%. Hopefully that helps our market here tomorrow as well.
All right, Scott, thanks for your insights. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
Thanks, Tracy.